Okay, Yahuah, this is funny. So this is the first time I've gone on a YouTube in a while, and it's annoying. It's nasty, actually. It's nasty. It's disgusting how they create these scenarios and they create this stuff to create drama and entertainment and all of this kinds of things. And there's specific people like Anton Daniels who, when he says something about accountability, the remark about that isn't a lie, but what is a lie is this Tabitha Brown thing. I was like, wait a minute. Didn't that lady say her story was that she was waiting for 25 years? She wanted to be in the industry. She wanted to be an actress. She went to casting calls. She didn't say anything about always having a job. And then they used to say something about how she was, now that she made it in her later years, like Samuel Jackson and like many other individuals, that she was retiring her husband. And they had something to say about her retiring her husband. And she was like, well, this is my thanks to him for taking care of our family for years. If I remember correctly, she also became something of social media because of she started to do the health thing and the vegan things for the health of herself and her family, right? Is that not what part of her story was? And didn't she also say like she was chasing after the dream and going for the dream and doing all of these things, for years, and, was delayed at times because of family and because of having kids and different things like that. And I know she has a brand and a name now, and the things that she sells are not necessity for everyday life. So to me, it's like the message would have been better had you been promoting for women women who call themselves black women to what's it called, to put an emphasis on the things that are necessities in life. Like, hey, women, I know you like to get your nails done every week or get your hair done every week, or I know you like to go to your girls' day out, or I know you might like your favorite drinks, or you might like your coffee. It's okay. Or you might like your coffee, or you might like certain things. But hey, those are privileges, those are luxuries. Maybe utilize your resources for the important things, such as, hey, you have these bills, you have these things and that stuff, that's the priority. Put that priority out there, and everything else can wait. You know what I mean? So like, that would have been the accountability factor, rather than say, hey, I was an entrepreneur. Hey, part of my story was I did these things for years. I took my time, or I got delayed at different periods. I did all of this and all of that. And when I made it, I told other women, like, I've done it, you can do it too. So now to turn around and say, I'm not encouraging women to anymore who, once you encouraged women to go for it, now you're encouraging them not to. Anyway, now you're encouraging them not to. So what does that say? That says a lot, where it's just like, maybe the true accountability is to say, hey, we don't need to buy Tabitha Brown products. We don't need to buy another lot of other products. Maybe, hey, women, guess what? You got to get your nails done, but that costs extra thing. Maybe do your own nails right now, or have a friend do your own nails, or have a friend's party and do your own nails. Save on your resources for the things that are vital. Or hey, you might like to decorate your house every week, but guess what? That's not a priority. So we can wait to decorate your house till next time. You know what I mean? Like, maybe say, instead of putting your investment into consumerism, into products of things and decor and things that big box stores and commercial stores and all of that stuff, Target or otherwise, that you don't need, that stuff can hold off. Build up on your priorities. Go ahead and pay down your debts. Go ahead and, utilize the people close to you. Utilize your network. Hey, you got a friend who knows how to do hair? Maybe you start having your friend do your hair until you build back up something, and then you can start going to that other fancy salon again. Maybe you do your nails at home for now, and then you start going back out to that snazzy salon in the future. It's like promoting those kinds of things. But no, YouTube and some of these people are feeding that. And I'm listening to another woman who calls herself a black woman on the commentary on the other side about accountability. But I've met a lot of women with MBAs. And you know what, y'all? I met a man yesterday, a black man yesterday with degrees and going to continue in law because he's gone to universities, undergrad and graduate. I'm not going to tell you what universities he went to and what law he studied, but he even does side work because to continue to make ends meet. And also for the flexibility and the choice because of whatever his lifestyle is. I meet other people who their lifestyle is they're set apart, or they're eclectic, or they're minimalist, or they're hippies, or they love camping, or they love farming, or they are just saying, you know what, I want to live within my means. They are in the States, they are in an international, and are like, I'm not going to feed into consumerism because that's the responsible thing for me to do. That's accountability. Hey, maybe you say to these women, don't buy the brands. Buy the thing that is quality and going to last. Or buy the thing that is comparable because you know that brand, they also got that made in China. And you know Walmart, they also made that in China. And you know Target, they also made that. Maybe it's they compare the product in the quality of the product, in the production of the products, and things that you buy. Oh, these curtains and the decor, these different things like that. Or maybe, hey, yeah, you can go to certain stores, you could go to certain outlets, or you could go to the high-end malls, you could go to the most ritzy, but maybe don't buy into the brand. Maybe buy into what is quality and affordable, and that's the accountable and reasonable thing to do. Maybe don't buy into the salon and the brands and the names like Tabitha or any others. Because I get what other women on the flip side of it who know her, who has supported her when she was building up, before she was doing things with celebrities and stuff. Before she became like other people like Rachel Ray's and all of those other people out there with their own cookware and things like that. And or people like Selena Gomez and them who had like clothing lines at stores and stuff. Maybe the responsible thing to do, an accountable thing to do, and to be accountable as men, whether you're a man of color, women of color, is to encourage these other people to say, you know what? I want to promote my brand, but guess what? I know my brands are luxuries. I know my brand is not necessarily a necessity. That would be their accountability. Oh, you don't need to buy my cologne is not a necessity. My shave cream is not a necessity. But guess what is a necessity? You having your provisions for your family. You having your lights on and your water on. I know in cities and places, there are people, they are veterans. They are retired police officers and firefighters, widowers and servicemen, and they're not making enough money from their retirement, from their service, from giving up their life to help other Americans, for serving, and all of these things. And I know a lot of people, and they do side jobs or they work at department stores, and yeah, there are plenty of jobs where you can go and get benefits. But I also saw an article the other day that just said there are more Americans now out of work than there was in April of 2021, than there was during COVID times. So be considerate of the whole matter, and be considerate of when you want to talk about accountability and responsibility. Hey, decorating your house is not a necessity. But putting food on the table is a necessity. Making sure you have electric and water is a necessity. Making sure you have transportation is a necessity. Making sure you have provisions and coverage and clothing and different things like that that your family need, that's a necessity. And maybe encourage that. And maybe encourage them in that way. And see that and understand that and know that. Then promoting. Then sitting here on one end and telling these people that they need to be accountable. But on one end, you're not being accountable for how your cologne is not a necessity. How your decor products are not a necessity. How your cooking things are not a necessity for people to live and for people to eat and be provided for and provide for their families. But you know what is? Water is a necessity. Shelter. And there are plenty of people who know how to grow food. And there's plenty of people who move to alternative lifestyles because they have decided, you know what, I'm going to live within my means. How about encouraging that? And then on the other side is like, how about stop feeding into these fake created, it reminds me of like Candace Owens saying like how the political environment and how other people create these fake scenarios, these fake COVID scenarios, these fake scenarios to have something to talk about, or how they used to be like celebrities would, create fake disputes with one another. Oh, bad publicity. There's no such thing as bad publicity. It reminds me of that. Out to YouTube and the algorithms and all of that, doing all of this stuff of, we'll put black men against black women. You'll have men like Anton and other people who promote certain things and say positive things about certain things or be real about certain things, but they're not being real about how you're a man, yes, and a black man that takes care of his family and his daughter who's black and his wife who's black, and that they can be on the payroll of your business, but also what is the data for the amount of men out here that are doing that? Number one. Number two, when you promote the algorithm and the pitting, it's black women said this, black men said that. I don't care if you're Asian men and Asian women or Hispanic or whatever, or mixed races, or promoting a bunch of international workers and a bunch of Indian and Asian and African and European workers over Americans. That's also accountability. But the accountability of saying, you know what, let me consider, yes, there are women who are out here who are doing the things they need to. But yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of people out here talking about, I'm going to smoke, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Even with that, saying, you know what, I know you like your favorite things. I know we have people out here who are addicted to coffee, or addicted to sugar, or addicted to chocolate, or addicted to making sure that they get their fast food all the time, or that they go to certain restaurants, or they hang out certain places. Well, the responsible thing, the accountable thing would be say, you know what, put those privileges off. Do the stuff that's important right now. And you can add those extra fun things once things level out in your life. You can add those recreational things once things level out in your life. If possible. For some people have the difficulty of making that transition of letting those kinds of things go. But the accountable thing would be to say, hey, that stuff is extra. That stuff is extra. But also remember when you're not getting the whole matter and considering men on both sides, when you are a man who is of color, a black man who promotes like, these women out here, not all women are from the hood. Not all women talk like from the hood. And even if they do, all this ratchet or this, not all people, I don't support. I think the black culture that has been created by society is a terrible thing. It's completely unbiblical. It's completely being as a person who believes the word, who believes that it is best for people to follow what Elohim created. It is the complete opposite of what Elohim has created for his sons and his daughters. Whether you are brown, whether you are black, whether you are red, whether you are yellow, whether you are white, It is completely unbiblical, the culture that is created. It's a culture and it's a cultish way and all of that. And even the promotion of that through YouTube, through the analytics, through the games and through the fake created disputes and all of that kind of stuff. But think about the outcomes of being angry at women, as some women, as though they remind you of a woman you had a bad experience with. Well, remember that your daughter is also a woman. Your mother is also a woman. Your wife is also a woman. Your grandmother is also a woman. And the same dispute and the same correction and that you give to these women who are you saying, or the hood, or these women who you say need accountability. Let me say that. You always say these women need accountability. These same women that you're saying need accountability, consider the whole matter. Not all of them are playing around and misusing their resources. But remember that that kind of talk that you give to them is the same kind of talk somebody else is giving to your wife. It's the same kind of talk somebody else is giving to your daughter, to your mother, to your grandmother. It's the same kind of talk that somebody's going to give to your grandchildren. Remember that. So if you spew us, accountability, this, accountability, that, there will be men who treat your daughter and your wife that way. And you may know about it, but you may not know about it. You may be there when it happens, and you may not be. But remember that. Remember that. Just like you call them black, just like the other ones do, remember that. Remember that there are plenty of men out here who act like they forget that they have a mama, have a grandmama, have a sister, have an auntie, have a daughter, have a wife. And that same kind of, oh, my wife is good, my family is good, my wife is not just a capable woman, but she's not a, contentious woman. Is your daughter contentious with anybody in her life? Has your wife ever been contentious with anybody in her life? Do you back them up? Do you say, or your mama, or your grandmother, or your auntie, do you ever say when somebody is, take this, the people that are taking tap to the side, do you ever say, hey, maybe, as people always try to tell me, because they always trying to be like, you spreading hate on here, you need to stop posting on YouTube. Like, anyway, you talk about your own community. You need to practice what you preach. I get that stuff all the time. So I'm just saying, like, you can see how social media and stuff pits the people against one another. They feed, which for me, I know it's biblical prophecy. I know it's biblical prophecy. It said in these last days, women would encompass a man. The love of many will wax cold. Like, it said those things would happen with the claws and the nails and the heels and the click-a-clacking. And the woman, the black woman and the daughters of Zion and other people will become singers. It said all of that stuff would happen. I'm not surprised by it. However, do I support and condone it? No. Do I support and condone a division between men and women? No, because they're supposed to be, especially of the same ethnicity. There are many instances where Elohim promotes his children being together and being one because of what it does for the kingdom of Elohim, what it does for the peace of the world, what it does for righteousness, what it does. You talk about y'all's people. You talk about your community. You talk about your ethnic group. But, like, who's out here promoting when the people were contentious with your mama or your sister or your daughter? Do you promote, having a full matter and having a full understanding? Having a full matter or having a full understanding? Or do you do what the rest of society has done and be like, oh no, just talk it up. They just contentious. Oh, what they're saying has no validity. Oh, it's not even that. It's not that serious. Oh, you just not being accountable. Are you examining the whole matter and saying, no, they have a right to be firm. They have a right to say things that they say at times, or advocate for themselves, or stand in the gap for themselves and their families, and understanding, hey, it's just like me. There's a reason I promote the family of Elohim. There's a reason I promote the order of Elohim. There's a reason I promote the marriages of Elohim. There's a reason I promote the word of Elohim, which says a marriage of him and family in him, his kinfolk, and who's my family and my kin, but those who do his desire. That stuff cannot just be separated and torn apart and overthrown and overtaken, because whatever has Elohim in it has a firm foundation, it has a solidity, it has a stability. And what's that stability? Is Elohim. I promote that, but what are these other people promote at times? What are they promoting? Are they promoting true family, true marriage, true union, or a bunch of other stuff? A bunch of other stuff. Do they promote a bunch of other stuff? Do they promote the healthy relationships between brothers and sisters? I mean, even if you're a fellowship, if it's your kinfolk, if it's your tribe, if it's your village, if it is your true, blood family. Anyway, just different things like that I consider, where it's like they're feeding this algorithm. I mean, y'all are spreading this around, accountability. So I'll use that word that y'all use, that they had y'all use. Accountability. But true accountability to me is the wisdom of Elohim. The righteousness of him. What's practical? What is your basic necessities? And what will Messiah say? Messiah said, if you have your basic needs, be content, and be content in all things. And know that that is the foundation of what you should be doing, and not having access of a bunch of luxuries. And some people don't consider it a luxury and a pleasure. It is a luxury and a pleasure to pamper yourself when you can do things with your own hands, or other people can do things with their own hands. That is a pleasure and a luxury. And so it's like, yeah, you be wisdom and budgeting and all of that kind of stuff for work or different things like that. But, yeah, it's just a lot of stuff that's not considered. And my first initial instinct was just like, that's kind of crazy to tell these people at first you were promoting, hey, go after your dreams and do this and do that. And it took me years. And at this point, and there were times I was delayed, and I supported my family and I gave it to my family. And then people came after me for retiring my husband because he had his time and then I had my time. Oh, we did like the Obamas did. And when it was Michelle, and it was Barack, and it was Barack, and it was Michelle, blah, 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 all of these different things. But it's like, these people are not even, anyway, they got all kinds of different ethnicities, background, cousins presidents they connected to, and other other ethnicities and stuff they're connected to. Hello. And so it's like, it's just things to consider. Things to consider. Things to consider. It's not, I just don't like when there's an algorithm at play. And it's like, oh, that's the game, that's society, that's the way it goes, and this and that. When the reality is, it's just catching up with prophecy. It's catching up with prophecy. But even as that is prophecy, everyone is not like, families don't have to, families, even though there's prophecy, and even though this is the last days, Elohim's family still exists and can exist. Like, marriages of Elohim can exist, do exist, and should exist. Family of Elohim does exist, should exist, and can exist. The economy The structure of Elohim can exist, does exist, and should exist. Just because these other things transpire does not mean that we should accept it. I don't accept. People ain't gonna like it. There's a reason I don't like black culture. I don't like also cultures and things that promote movies and specific people. I don't promote and support certain people of ethnic backgrounds and colors that promote movies where men dress up as women, or hey, we do these events and we do these, you get a car, but and I go in other countries and there's more to the story of, oh, I set up these orphanages here, I do these events here. I said, you know what would also be awesome? I don't know, I haven't looked into it because I don't follow her and I don't support her. If Tabitha Brown had organization that she supported. Other people might call it charity. Well, what about if you supported women that also had the same or similar testimonies as you? You were going out for auditions and stuff in Hollywood. You wanted to be an actress. You became a content creator. You started food things for the health and wellness of your family. You do videos and content online like other women. You do entrepreneurship. You were kind of moved into certain situations because things that were transpiring in your life. You also had to kind of flow with things when they came, when you got auditions, when you didn't, when you got pregnant, when you got married, when your husband was supporting your family as other women. And that's the other thing to me is like, when I see European women, when I see French women, when I see Caucasian women, when I see women who are minimalists, when I see women who are on their farms, when I see women who are living in vans, when I see women who are living as scampers, who camp out, who backpack, who hike, who are adventure seekers, who are off-roading, who are living alternative lifestyles, who are what is it, Father? Like exercise enthusiasts, who are into Buddhism and who are into homeopathy, or who are into natural living and all of these different things. When I see those women and the women who are homemakers and homekeepers and stay at home like the Bible say, and who are homeschooling, when I see that, and I see it of non-melanated and all of that, and even melanated, I don't hear a lot of people telling them to get jobs when they're like, my husband works a job. We are frugal. Oh, cheap meals for $1.27. Depression time meals for $1.27. How to feed your family of 6 and 8 off of $20. When I see those, I don't see the same kind of commentary to those women that you see for women who are like, well, I also may have got takeout or this. I wouldn't personally eat takeout for my family as a long-term solution, or even sometimes a temporary, but nonetheless, I don't see the same kind of commentary to, hey, they're living these alternative lifestyles, they're making it work, or they're living off of one income and you're not out here telling them to get a job. I know a lot of women who are melanated from this country and otherwise, who homeschool, who do the work of their hands, who do secondary work and third work, who get income, who have other positions or part-time jobs or contracts that they do. And they get treated like a lot of these other people, like as though their effort. It reminds me of Vadi Bachman when he said, my wife does the same thing Condoleezza Rice does, but Condoleezza Rice gets all of this credit, but y'all won't give women like my wife the credit. I'm paraphrasing. He mentioned that woman and he mentioned his wife, and they take care of orphans and different things like that too. And he makes a point to only take certain amount of trips per year because he takes care of his family and he lives on biblical principle. I'm a person that believes in that. Other people don't. But it is just wild. It's very wild to support the algorithm of YouTube and other things, regardless of me being on here posting stuff. I posted on here for that specific reason. The truth of Elohim and stuff. But it's just like, it's so wild to me. That's so wild to me. But of course, it's Bible. It's the Bible. It's prophecy. It said if a man came in his own name, you would give him praise. But the Son of Man, Messiah himself, would come in a name and people would treat him like garbage. The disciples said, y'all treat us, we get treated like garbage by the world. I'm paraphrasing. We get treated like garbage by the world. But y'all treat these people who came in their own names, right? Their brand, their name. All of these actors and actresses, even when they get a stage name, you coming in your own name and you promoting all this rah, rah, rah. But what about Yah, Elohim, the true living one, the one who gives life and breath? So be mindful of that. Be mindful of how those conversations and those podcasts you having, they say that, and you know what, I can say it because people turn around and say that to me all the freaking time. I told you, they say all of these things to me. You spreading hate, you ain't spreading love, gays, this and this and this and this and this and this. But it reminds me of the setups. It reminds me of the societal games and the setups of, black men or melanated people versus melanated people. The wealthy versus the non-wealthy. The 1% versus this. The 1% or 5% of America versus the rest of the world. The upperly parts of the other rest of the world versus America. Just all of these things where the comparisons, the games, it's entertainment, it's drama, the trauma, the oppression, impressions and pressures of the people, the depressions and oppressions onto the people, like all kinds of stuff. It's wild to me. Why is my backlight on? Anyway, it's wild. It's wild, but I just felt that was so wild to me. A lot of the things that she said, as though I was like, didn't she go through a lot of these things herself? Didn't she say she spent years or didn't work during this time or raised family or did this or that? Oh, also, especially with women who raise family. You raise family, you at home, oh my gosh, how many women tell me they left their jobs because they were losing out on family time and they weren't making enough. Their daycare was over $2,000 a week or over $2,000 a month. And they weren't making that at their jobs. So it was better for them to stay at home and take care of their own children. Or homeschool their children because of the system, because of the school system is not providing the training in the way a child should go. That way when they get older, they don't depart. Anyway, I need to get one of those for my car generator. Anyway, it is quite interesting, like the amount of women that I have met and their testimonies and their stories and their witness. And what works for one family don't work for another. And Messiah said that. He said, unless the people don't say what's right or wrong. Don't say what's right or wrong. Say what is righteous or what's unrighteous, what is right, what is wrong, according to the word, according to the Torah, meaning the teachings of Elohim. Don't say what is right or wrong just in general according to man, because one man's standard is not another man's standard. And then he also says, what else did you say, Father? Messiah says, say what's right or wrong according to the word. Because one man's standard is not another man's standard. And not everyone has the same measure to live by. He said, but unless you have the same measure, unless you have the same measure to live by. Obviously, these people are not living by the same measure. If you are a billionaire, if you are a millionaire, you are not living by the same measure as somebody who makes $70,000 a year. You're just not. And you know you're not. If you make $250,000 a year, $300,000 a year, you still not on the same measure and same standard. If you make $800,000 a year, that's still not the same measure and standard of living by the person who's doing millions or billions. Or even you might have a little, you can understand. You understand the structure is the same, but people don't think that. But anyway, when you go into numbers and stuff in the practicality, nonetheless, how you build that's the word says, when you faithful over little things and you'll be ruler over much. Faithful over much and ruler over much. So when you're faithful in a smaller thing, you still gonna have the same habits and the same ways and the same structure and same system to be faithful over the larger. When you faithful over the one company and a small company and a one family, because you start with your family, he says, okay, so leaders, how can you be a leader unless you meet the standard of Elohim? The standard of Elohim is a man of one wife, and his wife reverence him, and his children reverence him, and his house is in order. If your house isn't even in order, your family doesn't reverence you, why don't they reverence you? Why don't they reverence you? Why is not your wife and your children giving reverence to you? Because you are to love her as Messiah loved the church. Anyway, so people don't have that same measure that they live by. But I measure life by Elohim standard. It's righteous or it's unrighteous according to his standard. But other people, they don't live by that standard. But that accountability part, to me, that's that accountability. To me, the accountability is it righteous in the sight of Elohim or is it unrighteous? If Elohim says it's righteous, it's righteous. If he says it's not, then it ain't righteous. If he says you doing all you can do and you in order, then you doing what you can do and you in order. If he says, there's more to do this and there's more to that, then there's. But just like he said, the rich are responsible. Ooh, the moon is so huge. The rich are responsible for the poor, for their accountability to the poor. That's why I was like, it would be great for her to have a organization or a charity or different things where she's giving back to the women who's doing the same exact stuff that she did or similar circumstances, similar testimony of, yeah, I did this. I supported my family. I worked from home. I did this and I did that and I kept it out and I stepped it out and I didn't let the dreams go just because I raised my family for a time or just because I worked at home or just because my husband supported us and provided for us and different things like that. I know a lot of women like that. I also know a lot of women who have left YouTube, who were homemakers and stuff, and who were walking in a way or walking in belief and walking in faith because YouTube and was also promoting a lot of wickedness. But anyway, it's all of these different facets. And all of these different facets, it smells so delicious. These plants smell amazing. Anyway, I am, yeah, Elohim is my standard. So it's righteous or it's unrighteous according to him. What the world got to say don't make a difference. What YouTube has to say, if it don't match, if it don't line up with Elohim, it don't make no difference. I don't care who you are. You could be, let's see. Nope, not those people. Let's say for the black community, you could be, I don't know. Because not all people feel like Dr. King. Oh, he had his own stuff too, his family, and he was a man. They're all human. They're not Elohim. You could be Miriam. You could be Mary, Messiah's mother. But what matters most, like Elohim, what Elohim considers to be the standard, what Messiah considers to be the standard. So these people say things and they want to encourage people and they want to give them a word of advice and give them help. Well, help is when you have more than an abundance. Help is you're supposed to do your part and your duty to man, or more so than anything, your accountability to Elohim. When Elohim gave Joseph so much, it's because he was accountable to distribute those resources to the people. When Elohim gave David the ability to be sovereign, it was because he was supposed to be sovereign and distribute and do things well unto a mass of people. When you have a company and you have people who are employed and contracted by you, it is because you have an accountability to Elohim. When you have a family, you have accountability to Elohim. When you have a husband, we got accountability to Elohim as wives, as husbands, as sons, as daughters. Everything always points back to him. When you have a brand, when you out here and when you are an influencer, you have accountability to Elohim. Accountability. And accountability to all of those people. All of those people who it's not per se that your accountability. It can be in parts of people. As a wife, there's accountability to the husband because it says the wife's body is not her own. But likewise, the husband's body is not his own. So his body belongs to me, as the word says. And likewise, the wife. That's what the word says. But the thing that upholds a believer is what? Their love for the Elohim. When your spouse is being a hooligan, you still are one in the union of Elohim. And your love for Elohim should enable you to supersede everything else. And your foundation in him should be able to supersede everything else because he is the number one spot in your life as a believer. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what the word says. Anyway, you should love him with your whole heart, with your being, with your mind, with your strength, with all your resources. And in all you do it unto Elohim. Anyway. Abba bless y'all. Abba keep y'all. Be gracious to you. Make his face to shine upon you and give you peace. I am going to be reading Proverbs 28. And it sure is in alignment with what we experience day by day with Elohim as a believer and as this life with him. And as he went before us, as he went behind us, as we share in what Messiah has gone through. But trust and believe. That word, that Proverbs, it will be good for some other believers. I know it attested to the people I fellowship with, and I know it'll attest to other people who are a part of the body too at this time. But I didn't plan on coming here and on saying that. I did plan on this. I'm gonna put it on in a concerned citizen, but because people were concerned. Last couple of things I was talking about, the things that it's like not my concern, but it gets provoked because of the things that other people that say and do of their concerns. So these are concerns of other people and things I saw of other people. And I'm going to address it. And I was addressing it because I was just like, whoa. Like, ain't this the craziest thing? You saying these things to people, but you did, if you had a similar testimony, why are you talking to them like, anyway? And then on the flip side, why you be talking to these black women like your daughter and your mama ain't black? That's why I was just like, that's just, YouTube. YouTube out here having an algorithm, doing this little, creating this little schemes, this little, conversations, this drama. That stuff is not normal. I kept seeing also when I went online to another platform for the first time in weeks The brain rot, brain rot, brain rot. That's just what kept popping up. And it's sad. But, anyway, eat the things that are good for life. That's what's good. Eat what's good for life, what's good for life. The words that provide to your life. Read the things that add to your life. Listen to the things that add to your life. Do the work that adds to your life. Do the priorities and the important things. Be practical and then be wise about it. Budget well. Take care of the priorities first and then other stuff afterwards. That is what the word would encourage. So leave it aside if you want. Okay. Thank you. And yeah, just do that. Just do that. Whatever Elohim encourages you to do. But yeah. I don't like to see that, Father. I hope that it renews and transforms in many people. Like, you have melanated children too. You have melanated sisters, melanated aunties, melanated mothers as well. You have melanated people in your life who you respect and those you don't. I do too. You know who I don't? The ones who work witchcraft. Never respect them, and I will never. I never give them honor, and I never will. But because that's wickedness. That's not of life. That don't lead to life. That ain't leading nobody to life. Anyway, and that's not promoting life. That doesn't promote life. That doesn't promote, for all the people that talk about, they're black, gathering together, gather ethnic people together like these other ethnic communities. But don't get caught up in the societal things or the societal snares and traps that keep your very ethnic groups outside of the desire of Elohim. So if the desire for Elohim is for families of his families to be united and to be strong and to be unified and to be whole and to be complete, and because that brings their togetherness, that brings a prosperity to them, then don't be a part of promoting brands, brand names, ideals and ideologies and societal things of the world that are not normal. For me, the word is normal. Elohim is normal. I'm not going to be promoting things that are just like, well, this divides the people from Elohim. I want to be a part of the things that unite the people with Elohim, that unify the people with Elohim, that make, but more so, the word, which is life, which brings people together and makes people one with Elohim, and also makes them of life, makes them a part of life and having life in them, and having all they need, being whole and complete. Yeah, you have a plan for people, and you know what that is. You know what people go through. You know what they struggle with. You know what they strive with. We read Proverbs, and it's like, okay, the children of Elohim strive with those who do workers of lawlessness. The workers of Elohim's righteousness, meaning lawful, meaning they just keep his command, whatever he instructs them, his teachings. Not saying we doing sacrifices of animals. No, we keep his teachings and what he teaches us as a good father and how he trains us. And so we keep that and we follow that. That is good. That is life-giving. And we end up striving at times with those who try to teach the opposite. Because they're not teaching things that braid life, nor eternal life. Futility, vanity, emptiness, lack. That ain't bringing you no life, no eternal life. Anyway, you know what people are going to do, Father. You know what they need, and you know what is of you and what's not of you. Peace and blessings. Shalom. I'll add the proverb on here.